Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I'm back with my NBA mock draft. And you guys are like looking at me like, why is he looking around? My mouth is a little parched, so I need a little water. So before we start today's video, I want to hear right now down below, what do you guys think of my NBA mock draft 4.0? Yes, this is my fourth mock draft, fourth week in a row. I've been releasing one mock draft for the past month every week on Tuesday. I think I have two more left that I'll be able to do before the NBA draft. And for the last three mocks, I've had Jalen Green going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but everybody, I have given in. I believe Jalen Green is going to the Houston Rockets. I have given in. For weeks, I've said Evan Mobley was the better pick, better player. And I still believe that Evan Mobley and Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham all have the same ceiling, all NBA potential. While I believe Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley have higher floors than Jalen Green, but I do believe Jalen Green has the potential and to be. I just personally believe Evan Mobley's a safer pick. I know what I'm getting with him. Jalen Green, he's more polished and more skilled than Anthony Edwards going into the league was as the first pick, but I don't think he's as an explosive athlete as Anthony Edwards. Very similar game. Not very similar, but similar play styles that I like the idea of Jalen Green, Kevin Porter being the backcourt, and then the front court being Christian Wood, Jayshawn Tate, and then the small forward position probably being answered in the later half of the draft. So right now I want to hear down below in the comments, what do you guys believe of this? Who do you think should be picked? Did I get anything wrong? So this is my full mock draft that I'm showing you guys right now if you're paying attention to the screen before we get into it. So let's get right into it. Cade Cunningham, you guys know the story. Cade Cunningham, beast. He can do everything. I don't even need to talk about that. I just gave you the spiel about Jalen Green, so we're going to go over that. Evan Mobley's a little interesting. Now, without a doubt, they're going to draft him. Now, with drafting Evan Mobley, Jared Allen might be signed and traded. I think there's no reason for them to try to put Jared Allen and Evan Mobley out there at the same time. Screw that. Let's go. Keep Colin Sexton. Let's keep Sexton. Darius Garland, Colin Sexton. Isaac Okoro at the small forward position, Kevin Love at the power forward position, maybe even buy out Kevin Love, and let's run Dean Wade at the power forward position. But at the same time, they could trade down with a team, maybe like the Oklahoma City Thunder, and get the 6th pick and the 16th pick. Now you have 2 picks. But I do like Evan Mobley there, and then you put Kevin Love, or you get rid of Kevin Love, Larry Nance put right there, or you really could try Isaac Okoro and then Jetty. Did I say that right? Somebody told me it's pronounced with a J, not a C. Jetty Osman at the small forward position with Isaac Okoro playing that small ball 4, kind of how Jayshawn Tate, PJ Tucker, etc., all these small ball guys are starting to do now. Jalen Suggs, Kyle Lowry's leaving, guys. We all know that. This is a fact. Kyle Lowry is leaving. So why are we going to keep worrying about the whole point guard? Can Fred VanVleet or Malachi Flynn fill it in? No, let's move Fred VanVleet to shooting guard, OG Anunoby at the small forward, Pascal Siakam at power forward, Chris Boucher, tell him to bulk up this summer, put him at center as the starting center, and Kem Birch backing him up, or have Chris Boucher off the bench, Kem Birch starting, and Jalen Suggs is your future point guard, who replacing Kyle Lowry with Malachi Flynn backing him up, Fred VanVleet, and Gary Trent Jr., maybe even Gary Trent Jr. being the 6th man, or Fred VanVleet, whatever works. I just think Jalen Suggs is the better passer and facilitator than Fred VanVleet, so you just move. Even though Fred VanVleet would be a little small, kind of CJ McCollum type scenario, you have a smaller shooting guard. I digress. Jonathan Kuminga, he has one of the guys that commented on my channel said Jonathan Kuminga reminded him, I can't even remember, Jaylen Brown. Reminded him of Jaylen Brown, and I really like that comparison. Jonathan Kuminga has the potential to be the next Jaylen Brown. He's going to be a guy who comes in being a defensive stud who gets maybe 12 to 14 points a game, and I think you really develop into one of the better two-way players in the league. So I switched this around to start where my mock starts to get different. Davion Mitchell, I got him going to Golden State Warriors. I know some people rather them get maybe Franz Wagner or Corey Kesper, but I really, really do believe Davion Mitchell. Yeah, he averaged like 15 points a game, but he shot 45% from three. He's perfect. He can start until Klay Thompson is healthy. And then when Clay's then, he moves to the bench and he's perfect. Andrew Wiggins at the small forward position. Oh, I really like this. Maybe even move Andrew Wiggins to shooting guard and because Klay Thompson might be a little slower, put him at small forward. And I've had Keon Johnson at Orlando. I just like the idea of just all this defense and length and explosive athleticism with Jonathan Isaac, Jonathan Kuminga, Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, Wendell Carter, Mo Bamba, Chuma Okeke. Did I say that? Okeke, yeah. And Keon Johnson. Ooh. The Sacramento Kings, James Bouknight. You have Tyrese Halliburton, Darren Fox. James Bouknight could play the wing position. He's more of a shooting guard, but he can play the wing position. Then Harrison Barnes at power forward. You trade Buddy Hield. And then at center, maybe trade Marvin Bagley and find somebody else. Corey Kispert originally had Franz Wagner going to the New Orleans Pelicans, but why I have Corey Kispert now? Willie Green just signed there. He's about to win his third NBA championship with the Phoenix Suns. He won 2 with the Golden State Warriors. And what I want to say is I really truly believe that Corey Kispert is the guy who can start right now. And they need to draft guys and players who can come in and help them win right now because Zion is getting restless. Kai Jones, told you guys last night, probably the most interesting prospect. Can play the 4 position as a stretch 4, but what really is impressive is him as a big man because he can guard every single position 1 through 5. He can guard the perimeter, he can guard inside, stretch the floor, do everything. I like Jalen Johnson going to the Spurs because his secondary ball handling, and Chip Engelland can fix his shooting mechanics, and I really think he could be a secondary ball handler. He just screams Spurs, even though Alperen Sengun is probably more of a Spurs pick, but Jalen Johnson is what they need, especially with DeMar DeRozan leaving. He starts a year or 2 off the bench, and then year 3 probably is a great starter, averaging 15 points, 6 assists, probably doing like a imitation of what DeMar DeRozan did this year. Indiana, Franz Wagner, they said they wanted a guy who could start right now, and I usually had Moses Moody right there, but I think they'll take Franz Wagner because he can shoot and he can come in and play right now. And I just see Rick Carlisle liking him. Then I have the Golden State Warriors. They're not going to miss out on a guy who's 6'7" almost and has a 7-foot wingspan and has the willingness to take difficult shots and do everything. He's a go-getter. They're going to like him. Wizards, I know. I really like Alperen Sengun. He's a traditional throwback big man. Screams maybe could be Enes Kanter 2.0, but because of his limited athleticism. But the Wizards, we don't know if Thomas Bryant's going to come back at 100%. So Daniel Gafford, and Alperen Sengun look really good together. Then you got Isaiah Jackson, energy, rim running big. OKC would love that. And you pair him up with Josh Giddey at the 18th pick. So Josh Giddey at playing point guard and shooting guard. Then you have at small forward Alexei Pokusevski and center Isaiah Jackson. And then at power forward you have Scotty Barnes. Also, I didn't even talk about Scotty Barnes up here. Scotty Barnes on the Oklahoma City Thunder would be a great pick. They need him. I've talked about him a lot. New York's always going to draft defensive players as long as Tom Thibodeau's there. Wherever Tom Thibodeau is, you draft a defensive player who has potential as an offensive player. Jaden Springer could be Dylan Brooks 2.0, more efficient, plays that bully ball, very defensive guy, pesky as hell, love him. Trey Mann, I switched Sharif Cooper out, like Trey Mann. He's 6'5", he averaged high teens in points. He shot almost 40% from 3. He's got the length to defend, and he's just perfect for the Atlanta Hawks. He's completely different than Trae Young, and he can just go in. I just think Sharif Cooper doesn't offer the defense that the Hawks might want. Neemias Queta is a big man who had 97 blocks this past year, leading the NCAA, and he averaged 3.3. He had 15 points and 10 rebounds a game. The only other people to do that is Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid, I think DeAndre Ayton, and Robert Williams. So good company. Good high and floor right there. Chris Duarte could be picked before this. Where Zaire Williams is right here in the Memphis Grizzlies, who I didn't talk about, where I think he's sliding. He's just perfect because Kyle Anderson could play this year, and then in his second season he could replace Kyle Anderson once he bulks up. But they could pick Chris Duarte right here, the Grizzlies. But if they do pick Duarte, I see the Lakers getting Williams or maybe somebody who's more ready, like Usman Garuba. But I think Chris Duarte is going to go there. Then the Rockets to pick Josh Christopher. He's just such a scorer, and he can play the small forward position next to Porter and Green. And then you figure that out. You have power forward Jae'Sean Tate and center Christian Wood. And then the, backup point guard for your man, Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. You got like a passer, Sharif Cooper. And then you have Usman Garuba. Look, we saw Zubac and Ibaka. Kind of like their big mans were kind of like their catalyst. I think Garuba is the perfect modern day small ball five, and stretch four can be a better version of the Morris brothers and Blake Griffin. Ayo DeSumo, look, he's a guy who has the length, the poise, the versatility, and the scoring ability to come in, not start, but play 20 minutes off the bench and be a defender, a scorer, replace Gary Harris or even Will Barton. Jeremiah Robinson Earl's another guy like that I think could be. He's a traditional guy. He's not perfect for the modern day NBA, but he's a good rebounder, good passer, high basketball IQ. He weighs like 240, I think. He's 6'10". He can again play like Blake Griffin, the Morris brothers, PJ Tucker, be stretch four, small ball five. Bones Highland, they need a guard, and he's 6'5" with like a 6'9" wingspan, or 6'3" with a 6'9" wingspan. He's just awesome. He's a scorer, gets steals, has good IQ. I just really like him. Now, I had originally right here Day'Ron Sharpe. I'm not a fan of his, but Ariel Hukporti, I hope you guys, I said that right. Tell me down below if I did or if I didn't. From Germany, 7 foot tall, 251 pounds. Yeah, his competition was deemed inferior. Phoenix Suns have been just pulling out random guys, drafting them too high, reaching for players, and I think this could be a reach, but he's a guy who's perfect to back up DeAndre Ayton, Stick Smith at the 4 position already as your small ball 5. But I really think Ariel Hukporti and Stick Smith will be the best backups for their front court, or Stick Smith starting and Ariel Hukporti backing them up. And I really like that. Then JT Thor, another guy, similar situation, could stretch the floor like Stick Smith, but he can play small ball 5. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy that video. Peace. Oh.